Pay me, pay me, pay me my silver now. Pay me or go to jail. Pay me my silver now.
RoadToRuta.com. Good Friday today, so silver market is closed. The comics is closed. It's pretty much the only market that really sets price. LBMA doesn't really set price. China, who knows? Who knows what's going on in China? The Chinese do. Probably Trump does. But I have posted the latest silver survey came out a couple days ago, and I have posted for private road members an analysis of my take on the lies that were told this time. This discussion mainly focusing on solar silver. This is 2 years in a row that the Silver Institute has lied through their teeth. And it's embarrassing. It's shocking, the amount of lies they've told. The amount of silver installed this year was up 35%, and it had more TopCon, which has more silver. You would think, at a minimum, the amount of silver used would rise above 35% because they're using TopCon, which has more silver than the PERC modules. You've heard this all before. They lied through their teeth last year. They changed historical numbers. That's one good thing. They didn't quite change historical numbers. They did a little bit just to get it from a 2% growth to a 3%, or a 2% growth to 3% growth. They had to change the historical number for photovoltaics. It's just so ridiculous. But the problem is the rest of the world is actually quoting this ridiculous report. It's sad. It's embarrassing. Investors use it for their investment analysis. Probably the worst thing you can use on the planet for silver analysis is the silver survey every year. All right, let's go through. Again, silver's closed. We're well above the moving averages, so India is not buying. Well, they're buying, but they're not buying the physical. As you can see, for the last, all the way up until April 10th, they did. Massive amounts, probably 20 to 30 million ounces will go into India when the report is released on, when is that report being released? On the 15th of next month. So we'll see 20 or 30 million ounces, but it was quick. As you can tell, it was a couple weeks. That was it. All right. Let's go to what I want to talk about today. So here's the Silver Institute's demand reached a record 680.5 million ounces. That is short. This is industrial demand. That's short by at least 190 million ounces. So it's really 870 million ounces, which is higher than the amount that was mined last year out of the ground. That's why they are doing it. If it looks like there's a massive shortfall on the industrial side, what will investors do? They'll go buy some more silver. Or especially swap your silver for gold. I mean, just take a look at the gold-silver ratios at 102. How often in the past, this is since 1975, so in the past 50 years, the gold-silver ratio has been over 100 to 1. It looks like 2 times, maybe 3, potentially back here in the 90s. Late 80s, potentially, but not really. And this was an artificial move by J.P. Morgan by putting their henchman, a guy named Bill Daley, as Obama's chief of staff. Definitely J.P. Morgan, and that's when they set the price of gold to silver ratio up at close to 130 to 1. These are all computer programs written by Alan Greenspan in the 1960s and 70s. I'm working a lot on my book right now, and all this is going to be in the book. It's going to be an awesome book. Can't wait. But when will it come out? I don't know. It's a book. It takes forever. But yeah, we're over 100 to 1. If you have gold, you're crazy. Let me just say that. You're crazy to have gold. Swap it for silver. I mean, I've been saying that since 90 to 1. Yes, at time. Go ahead, say it. You can say it. Bix, you've been wrong. You've been wrong. Absolutely. Doesn't mean it's not a good investment. The most obvious thing to do when you see a chart like this in the last 50 years, there's only been a little brief moment in time that was artificial that silver was above 100 to 1 and now it's sitting at 100 to 1, you need to swap your gold for silver. When it's found out that there's literally millions of tons of gold, not just the 200,000 tons that Jeffrey Christian and the Gold Council will tell you, it's millions of tons. And silver is disappearing every day. Silver is the key. Silver is the key. The silver dagger will pop the derivative bubble, blowing everything sideways very soon. So yeah, 100 to 1, swap your gold for silver. Should be obvious. So yeah, not much going on with silver on kind of on lockdown today because it's not trading. It's probably trading in Japan, in Hong Kong, China. So the Silver Institute comes out with their lies, and some of the more important things. One, it's not 670, it's 790, 790 or 800. Sorry, 890 million ounces. Sorry, 870 million ounces. 870 million ounces, and that's just looking at the photovoltaics. The other stuff is way off too. But I mean, that's just the obvious one because in the world of solar panels, everything is recorded. Those green people want to know how much solar is going in. It's a problem for silver investors. I mean, it's a problem for the silver riggers because we know it's closer to 400 to 450. 400 million ounces of silver was used in solar last year, and it's going up this year. And the whole concept of thrifting, yes, there's newer technologies that use less silver. Here's the deal. Nobody's implementing them. They can't. You have to change the whole line out, and all these solar manufacturers are broke or failing. Nobody's going to invest all that money and spend a year with lines down because you got to retool them. The whole reality of what the Silver Institute uses as an excuse is just wrong. It's flat out wrong. Very few upgrades to new technology other than TopCon. But upgrades to TopCon, the TopCon, they just went in over the past 3 or 4 years, and it took literally 10 years to get everything in. Now it's mostly TopCon panels. All the PERC manufacturing lines, those companies are going broke. This is such an obvious thing, and yet the Silver Institute uses the reason that silver's not going up in solar usage is that it's the thrifting thing. And it's just the most ridiculous excuse. Even though solar last year went up, 2023, it had gone up about 76%, 78%. And this year it's 35%. And literally this year they had a 2% growth in silver on the Silver Institute's numbers. That should be criminal lying. It is impossible for the amount of solar installed to jump 35%, and you're using 35% less silver. And it's actually the opposite. It's probably 35% more silver because they've pretty much changed the TopCon now. So a huge, massive lie being told, and the feckless CEOs of the silver mining companies don't say a word about it. Keith Neumeyer will say something. Keith, just say it. 35% growth in solar and a 2%. They say it's 3%, but it's 2% if you do the math from last year. 2% growth in silver used in that solar. It's a lie, and it's a sad lie. It's a ridiculous lie, and they should be very, very, very embarrassed. Not embarrassed. They're just caught. Every silver company CEO should be screaming from the top of their lungs. Silver Institute, what are you doing? This is 2 years in a row you've lied. So if people don't know what's going on in silver, it's going to be a massive problem when we run out. And we are going to run out. The days are coming very soon, no matter what Jeff Christian says. Oh, Jeffy boy. Anyway, all right. Very interesting thing. The Silver Institute says it's on the silver survey is on its website, but it's not. 2024 was last year's survey. 2025 analyzes 2024, so and it's a different survey. I had to go to Metals Focus. They're cool enough to say, yeah, Bix, here's a copy of it. So that's what it looks like. World Silver Survey 2025. But what do we have here? The Silver Institute. If you open it up, 2024, it's last year's survey. So I don't know what the Silver Institute's doing. I don't know who they're trying to hide it from. But I did get the numbers. And as you can see, let me show you real quick here. And I do a full analysis with AI on this whole thing on the private road on that post. And you can see it right here. Supposedly, photovoltaics went from, in 2023, 192.7. By the way, they changed that historical number just a little to make it 3% because it's actually 2%. From 192.7 to 197.6, a 3% gain. So solar manufacturer, the solar installs were 35% above a massive year the year before. And the Silver Institute says, no, we don't need any silver in solar panels anymore. It's just so sad and pathetic. Because what would happen, they would have had to add about 190 million ounces more to the overall, which would put us at, well above the market imbalance, as they call it, for, they say it's 148. It would be 200, 338. It would be 338, the largest deficit ever. That's why they're doing it. They can't tell you the truth. They are lying massively. And then next year they have for some reason, they're saying we're going to use less silver. We already know that the solar manufacturing is going to use a hell of a lot more than they use this year. And of course, what are their projections? Oh, it's going down 1%. This is so blatantly fraudulent. The expectations are 700 gigawatts DC next year, and that's conservative. That's conservative. So more than 100% of silver will go into industrial demand. It did this year by a long shot. It will again next year if we get to next year. And the reason this is so important is silver is being massively misallocated into solar panels. At $1,000 silver, how many solar panels will be made with silver? Very few. None. I'd say none. You never know. It depends on the price of electricity. And $1,000 silver, will they tear down all these solar plants? Probably not. It costs a lot to get that silver out. I think there's a lot of silver we can find within the United States because we've shut off silver mining for the most part. Ever since, we decided in the 20s and 30s that, oh my God, let's keep everything into the ground. Let's not mine anything out here. Let's use everybody's supply first before the U.S. uses their own supply. It's a brilliant move if you're an asshole country, which we've been. Use everybody's oil, use everybody's silver, use everybody's gold. Import 65% of our silver from Mexico and Canada. And now Trump's saying, we're going to stop that. China, we're going to stop. This is all part of the plan. Wait till the root of his book come out. Oh, it's going to be a good one. Anyway, this is all part of the plan. So silver, yes, definitely get your physical. You want it in your own possession. Mining companies will all be nationalized. No doubt in my mind. Even in the United States. We'll demand it. If there's no money in the bank, all the shares have been rehypothecated, so nobody knows who owns what. There's no clear ownership of anything anymore. We will demand that the U.S. government go back to our constitutional money, gold and silver. It's just, you can use crypto, it's fine. It's not in our Constitution. Until we put it in our Constitution, we're not going to even look at it. But you can use Bitcoin, and it's not in our Constitution that the government should be stopping us from using all other types of currency if we want. We're free in our Constitution, for the most part, as long as you don't hurt other people. So it will be no regulators. I am fully in agreement with Jeff Berwick. There shouldn't be any regulators. But Bix, people get ripped off. Well, only a couple people will get ripped off in the beginning, and then people won't invest in things that rip you off. You need to do your homework. And most people won't have any money anyway. So investing will be very different in the future, in my opinion. Anyway, the other massive news, and this is, I can't tell you how big this is. I've been running the numbers on Theta Fuel, which is trading like 17, 18 to 1 with Theta. Theta is going to be amazing. Don't worry about Theta. Theta will be amazing. Theta Fuel will be 4 to 5 times bigger because of where it trades now. And Here is the announcement from the Theta Edge Cloud selected for AI research by Stanford Assistant Professor Ellen Vittrick's AI Labs. Stanford is hooking up with Theta. You know how big that is? Well, thrilled to announce that the AI Research Lab of Stanford Engineering Assistant Professor Ellen Vittrick will use Theta Edge Cloud's hybrid cloud infrastructure to support its AI research in discrete optimization and algorithmic reasoning. Theta Edge Cloud's decentralized GPU provides access to scalable, high-performance computing power at a reasonable cost to accelerate AI models. Teaming with Stanford is the biggest thing they could do. And a lot of people don't even understand how big this is. Nobody in the crypto world understands how big this is. Nobody. So what do? We ask AI. How big is it? Here's my question. What is the significance to Theta of the recent announcement that Theta Labs has partnered with Stanford University's AI Lab? Here's the answer. The partnership between Theta Labs and Stanford University's AI Lab, announced on April 17th, 2025, holds significant strategic and technological importance for the Theta Labs and its Theta network. Below is an analysis of the key implications and significance of this collaboration. 1. Validation of Theta's technology, enhanced credibility. I'm not going to read the full, but I'll read some snippets. Partnering with Stanford's AI Lab, a globally recognized leader in artificial intelligence research, validates the technological capabilities of the Theta Edge Cloud platform. Stanford's decision to use Theta Edge Cloud for large language model research underscores the platform's reliability, scalability, and cost-effectiveness for high-performance computing tasks. Positioning in AI infrastructure. The collaboration positions Theta as a key player in the growing market for decentralized cloud computing. Not that its previous partnerships with Google and Samsung and Microsoft and Amazon. I mean, I can't stress enough how important it is for everybody out there listening to this to be involved with AI in some way, because your job will be lost to AI. And the question is, what are you going to do for income? What kind of new job are you going to do in this new world where AI is taking over everybody's job? Why not invest in AI? Why not be part? What was it? Cliff says, number one, be dynamic. Don't be static. If you're not in cryptos, especially if you're not in Theta and TFuel, you're being static. You're just not jumping on. The ship is leaving the port, and this mission is a very long-term mission. You have a chance to get on it. You have a chance to jump on board the ship as it leaves, because as it leaves, the rest of the world gets kind of sidelined. AI it's growing so fast. It's going to leave you on the sidelines if you don't have an investment in AI. Yeah, you can go for NVIDIA, but the shares have been rehypothecated. That's a problem. Why not go for literally the infrastructure? The future of AI is decentralization, 100%. Anyway, expansion in the academic sector. Now that Stanford's on board, everybody's going to come on board. I think the next one announced. So Mitch Liu, he did go to Stanford to get his MBA, but he also went to MIT for computer science. So I would not doubt it if the next one we hear about is MIT. You got Stanford, you got MIT, two of the largest AI research universities on the planet. This should be so obvious to everybody. I don't know why people are hesitant. I don't know, cryptos. Call up Caleb and Brown and say, hey, Bix said, I got to get involved with AI, and he thinks Theta is the place to be. Can I buy TFuel from you? Can I buy Theta from you? Yes, Caleb and Brown. If you don't know who Caleb and Brown is, go to affiliates right here at roadtoruler.com. Scroll down to Caleb and Brown. Click on that, and there's my link, and you can get your discounts that way too. Or actually, they increase the speed it takes to to sign up. Yes, you're going to have to give them all your information. That's the way of the world in the future. If you don't like to do that at all, there are cryptos out there that are completely decentralized and safe. No, not Bitcoin, not Litecoin, not all those. There are some out there that they can't track you, but everything else is open blockchain. Open blockchain. And that's the way the future is. You don't have to participate in the future if you don't want to. Anyway, set up, if you don't know what you're doing, set up Caleb Brown. Where can you get Theta? I think Binance US has it. There's a whole bunch of places you can swap it for it on simpleswap.io. Make sure you do .io and not .com. There's lots of fake cryptos out there. If you don't know cryptos, just call up Caleb Brown and say, hey, Bix said, set me up with Theta and TFuel. And then those of you who are already into cryptos, better think twice about where you're invested. I think there's a few things happening. Number one, obviously, is Theta is going to be the backbone of decentralized cloud storage, which is massive. Trillions of dollars are going to come into Theta. And Theta, especially ThetaFuel. And don't forget, ThetaFuel, literally, this is what people forget. There's 6.5, almost 7 billion TFuel tokens. And it grows at like 5% or something, a pretty decent clip. So it's inflationary, but every transaction, 25%, around 25% is burned. So as more and more people use the system, more and more TFuel gets burned. Pretty soon, I think within a year, the amount of TFuel available will be less than the amount of Theta. And people start saying, oh my God, I thought the TFuel was inflationary, and if it's massive use, it's deflationary. And then what do people do? They start running into, they only chase shiny objects, right? So like ThetaFuel has been pretending it was a shiny object quite a bit lately. Like these jumps are massive when you look at like let me show you how big these jumps are. It's like all of a sudden it'll jump. Like right here, look at this. It jumped from 87 cents up to 8.7 cents up to 13. Almost doubled in like overnight. And you'll just blink and it's like, what the hell's going on? But the slams are massive too. I mean, you look at the overall TFuel, the highs were right in here in the heyday of 2021 before Trump took down the crypto market. Actually, he did that back here. So this was the Biden insanity. And the high was, I think, 60 cents. About 60 cents, and now it's at 3 cents. Which would you rather buy it, 60 cents or 3 cents? Right? Oh, here's a good chart right here. Look at this. That looks like a breakout to me. Again, everything's rigged, but you have to be positioned somewhere for AI. If you're working in the AI field, bravo, you're the future. If your job's going to be replaced by AI, even potentially, you have to have your foot in AI somewhere. Why not have it in something that's massively undervalued, something that is literally going to change the world, especially starting in June, the announcement that they're implementing the hybrid edge cloud, and then later on in the year, that's in beta, and then they're going to fully release it. And that gives the opportunity for every iCloud, the Amazon cloud, all the clouds to use Theta in collaboration with them, with their massive server farms. They're all partners. They're all working together. And that's the time. I think that's after that kicks in, by the end of the year, Theta will have a fully decentralized hybrid cloud, and that will be, I can't even tell you how big that is. Google will be saying, oh yeah, we're partners with Theta. Amazon, oh, definitely we're partners with Theta. They got the patents, they got the technology. It's decentralized for the most part, other than the validators who are approving every transaction, and you need that. And so the blockchain is cheap as hell, by the way. So much better than Ethereum, I can't even tell you. But right now, Theta is in the doldrums. It's at number 81 on the list. It was number 10 for a while. So that's your heads up. The current Theta TFuel ratio, it's been going down. It was at 30. Now it's at 18 to 1. I think this will go down. As TFuel is burned, as more and more adoption, literally this partnership with Stanford opens the floodgates for United States universities. I think the vast majority of the universities that have an AI program will be using Theta. It's cheaper, it's faster, it's leading edge, and they have access to just it's that partnership with everybody. It's sharing devices that it's just I can't even describe to you how big this is going to be. Do I think TFuel will go to $10? Yes. From 3 cents to $10. Will it be overnight? No. This year, I think we'll blow by the all-time high of 60 cents. And that's a 20x move. That's how big this is, I think. When MIT announces we're partnering with Theta, and then every other university that has an AI group says, oh my God, us too. I mean, I think they're shooting for 200 universities this year, which is massive. And the beauty of going directly to the universities, this is a new field. Well, not that new, but it's a new field for popular understanding, for kids saying, what do I want to do with the future? It's either going to cryptos or nobody's going to want to go into finance anymore, traditional finance. If they're chasing money, they're going to go into cryptos, and what's one step above the cryptos is the AI. And when you combine the two, voila, you're gold, pony boy. Anyway, 3.6 cents. It's ridiculous. It's paying out. Just if you stake, you're making 7% TFuel. And if you stake with a booster, it's higher now. I think it's like 10% or somewhere around there, depending on what kind of configuration you have. But that'll go to 20 and 30%. I think if it maxes out with all the stuff that they have in their little program, it's like 25, 30%, which is huge. It's massive. Not counting the appreciation of Theta. Anyway, that's what I got for you. I will do more digging into the Silver Institute. The ridiculous survey that they put out to literally to steer you away from silver. I think it's the worst move for humanity. These guys should be put in jail. These guys, it's not even a bunch of guys. It's one guy, Mike Dorenzo. That's all it is. And then Metals Focus does the survey, and they're either stupid, and I don't think they're stupid, or they're corrupt, or they're doing it on purpose. It might not be corrupt. 99% of the population does not want silver to go moonshot. Your cell phone will go from $200 to $800. You don't like that. Your flat screen TV will go from $500, massive flat screen TV, $500 to $5,000. You don't want that. So the world's changing. Again, you're either static or you're dynamic. You have to be dynamic. Everything is changing. Everything is changing. You got to be on board. I plan to use all my silver gains when silver is freely traded. It's probably about $2,000, $3,000. I'm going to take a chunk of that silver and throw it into TFuel. I'm kind of hoping TFuel doesn't move until silver goes first. But who knows? Anyway, that's what I got for you. This is Bix Weir, roadtoroot.com. I'll talk to you later.